Okay, so we have our category tab set up. What I want to do now is I want to create the slideshow or the carousel, whatever you want to call it. It's going to have a larger image up here, and we'll be able to scroll through and it'll change the images. Alright, so I'm going to go to Get Bootstrap, and you want to be in the JavaScript section, and then you want to click on Carousel. And there's a nice example here. Okay, so carousels can have images, they can have content. In this project, we're not going to have any text or content. We're just going to have the image. In the next project, we'll be using the carousel again, but we'll have some content. So what I'm going to do is copy this code from this example. And I'm going to paste it. Let's see. Actually, you know what? Before we do that, we need to create another section. We want to put it above this, the main section here. So right below the nav. I like to split my different parts of the page into sections. You don't have to. It's just preference. So inside the section, we want a container, same stuff as the other section. Container, and then we want a row. Alright, and we're going to use columns here. So we're going to say div class equals column 6. I'm sorry, column MD6. Alright, so basically, if we just keep this class like this, it's going to put the slideshow in a div that's going to pretty much end right here, because it's a 6 column, which is half of the 12 column total. And we don't want it just hanging out on the left here. We want it in the middle. So what we're going to have to do is offset by 3 rows. I'm sorry, 3 columns. So in that same div, we want to say column MD offset 3. Okay, and that'll put it in the middle. Alright, so now what we want to do is paste in the code that we copied from Get Bootstrap. And let me just bring this over. Alright, so let's see what we have. We have a div with the ID of carousel example generic, class of carousel in slide, and then a data ride attribute called carousel. And then we have an ordered list, which has a few list items. Basically, this is for the little dots. Okay, so if we go to the finished one, you can see these little dots here. We can actually use them to navigate. Alright, and you could actually do some cool stuff with this. You could use thumbnails and make kind of a nice image slider. So basically what I want to do with this is just add a few, because we have it starts at 0, but this would be the first image, second, third, and we have 6 images, so I just want to copy this and just add a couple here. So that'll be 3, 4, 5, 6, but we want to change it to 3, 4, 5 because it starts at 0. Alright, so as far as this part, we should be all set. The first one has a class of active. Basically, it's going to be the first one in the slideshow. Down here, we have our wrapper for the slides. Okay, so we're not going to have any content, so I'm going to get rid of this div here. Alright, and I'm going to get rid of the one for this item as well. So this would be one image. This would be one image, and then this would be the next. So I'm going to get rid of this content div and get rid of these 3 dots. Okay, so the first one has a class of active, and let's see, let's change the image source. We want it to go to img/sample1 .jpg. And I'm just going to get rid of the alt. Alright, and then the next one is going to be sample2 JPEG. And we want to do 4 more. Okay, so 2, 3, whoop. That's what, 4, 5, 6. Okay, so 1, 2, and then we'll change this to 3, this to 4, 5, and 6. Okay, so those are our slides. Let's go ahead and save this and see what happens. Alright, so that looks pretty good. I do want to add the little border and stuff here, so I'm going to give it a thumbnail class. Each image. So we'll say class equals img thumbnail. Alright, reload, and now you can see we have the border. So that looks pretty good. Now let's take a look at some of the options that are available with the carousel. Okay, so in the carousel section on Get Bootstrap, if I scroll down, we have this usage area, and basically we have some options. Okay, we can look at them here. We can change the interval. Okay, so we can speed it up or slow it down. Pauses the cycling of the carousel on mouse enter and resumes when mouse leave. And then wrap. Let's see, whether the carousel should cycle continuously or have hard stops. And keyboard, which controls whether the carousel should react to keyboard events. So let's see, let's slow this down a little. You can see it's really fast. Alright, I think it says the default here. Yeah, so the default is 5,000 milliseconds, which is 5 seconds. So let's say we want to slow it down to 20 seconds. Alright, now there's 2 ways to do this. You can use JavaScript, just like this, okay, or jQuery. It's basically just grabbing the div with the class of carousel and applying the carousel method and adding our options such as the interval. Or you can use data attributes. Okay, so just like this, we could add this to the image, data interval. Alright, I'm sorry, not the image but the carousel div. So let's do it that way. So I'm going to go to the div that has the ID or the class of carousel, and let's go ahead and just add in data interval, and we'll set it to 20,000. Actually, no, let's change it to 2,000 first, just so we can make sure that it's working. So now it should be from 5 seconds down to 2 seconds. Okay, so we'll reload. And there we go. So it's rotating every 2 seconds now. So let's go ahead and change that now to 20,000, which would be 20 seconds. And I'm not going to sit here for 20 seconds, but you should see it shouldn't change. Alright, so now that's slowed down. So what I want to do next is the light box, which is going to be a small jQuery script, and I'm going to stop this video and we'll continue that in the next.